Hi, welcome along to the Don Robbie channel. We are here because we have come to discuss Antonio Conte joining Tottenham Hotspur. He's their brand new manager. And to discuss it with me, I've got Fuad, a regular who appears on the channel, as you know, when we do Tottenham games. Got a big smile on his face. Apparently, I heard, Fuad, that earlier on you were running around on your channel with an Italian flag.
Hey, duty calls. When a man like Conte arrives, listen, we got to get the celebrations ready. It's only right.
Now, for everybody who don't know, the big news, of course, yesterday, Nuno Espirito Santo sacked as Tottenham manager after only 4 months in charge. And now Antonio Conte has taken on the job for an initial, until 2023. So you could call it like a 17, 18-month contract. Fuad, first of all, before we get into Conte, Espirito Santo sacked after only 4 months in charge. Was that fair?
Fair, you could say no, but I mean, nowadays, let's be honest, what managers are given time, especially at the top level, especially in the Premier League. We all know that this is a results-based business. We've seen other managers that have probably had shorter spells, whether it be at Watford, Frank de Boer, whatever. If you're not producing the goods, at some point, your job will be on the line. And I think the biggest issue with Nuno was it wasn't just that the results weren't coming, but you also wasn't seeing any progression in any circumstances at Spurs, whether that's on the ball or off the ball, on the pitch, off the pitch. Individuals weren't improving. You felt like tactically he wasn't getting the most out of this team. Even the new signings that had come in, you didn't feel like he'd fully incorporated them properly. Some of the star players who are better players last year, whether it's Kane, Ndombele, Højbjerg, Reguilon, their levels had dipped a little bit this year. So when you look at kind of him being the 14th choice manager who came in as well, I think the board are essentially saying, do you know what? We got it wrong with this one. And in all honesty, I'd prefer that they be ruthless like this and admit they're wrong rather than them kind of sticking along with it and trying and forcing it just because they kind of had to pick him because he was 14th choice. No, if Conte's readily available there and you know you can get rid of Nuno on a cheap now, be ruthless. That's the game is the game. You have to accept it is what it is. And Nuno, as much as I can feel sorry for him, he kind of didn't make the situation any better for himself. As much as he was walking into a messy situation, he kind of didn't help himself, I don't feel like. So it was only a matter of
the other day when in that game against Man United, which was a very poor performance by you guys, but when he took off Lucas Moura, I mean, the crowd were very angry.
That was literally the final nail in the coffin, you almost felt like. When the fans are that visibly angry, or when you're taking off a player as well who, in a team that was playing very poor in that game, Moura probably looked the busiest, seemed like he was trying to take men on, and you took him off for Bergwijn, who we know hasn't really delivered in the 2 years he's been at the club, basically. It didn't seem like a change that made sense, and it seemed like a change that literally wrapped up Nuno's time in a nutshell. But then that was like, I think, the third game where we'd had a half with no shot on target as well. So the football also isn't getting any better. And especially when the board and Levy had sold us the line of we're going to play attacking football and the Tottenham way, and then Nuno's gone completely against it. It's chalk and cheese. So something had to give way. And listen, if it means Nuno's going to be the one to fall on the sword, so be it.
Okay, well, I'm looking at some of the comments here from Conte. He said he's been given, as I said, he's been given the job. 52-year-old serial winner. He's won titles before with Chelsea, of course, in the Premier League. He won the title in Italy with Inter Milan. He's won it with Juventus. He's managed Italian national team. He is what we would class an elite manager, right? And he said, I'm extremely happy to return to coaching and to do so at the Premier League club that has the ambition to be the protagonist again. First of all, first question I asked you, was you surprised? Because you tried to get him last summer.
Yeah.
He didn't come. And one of the reasons he cited as not coming is basically Tottenham are not going to match his ambitions. But he's saying there now that they are going to match it. So do you think there's going to be a lot of money made available to? What do you think is thinking behind taking this job?
That's my biggest shock about it, I think, was the fact that I essentially feel like we've wasted 4 months, because what are we offering him now that we couldn't offer him 4 months ago? What situation has changed now? Maybe you could say, oh, we know we're not kind of financially crippled by COVID as much with things clearing up nowadays. Maybe you could say, oh, because now the summer window's over, he can look forward to building for the January and the summer window. So maybe he'll have money available then. But I don't know what's changed, but when you get a man like Conte and you've seen the track record of what he's done from the time he was at Juve, the foundations he built for Allegri, basically to take that onto a decade of winning titles, the way he walked into Inter, which was a situation where they hadn't won the league in over a decade, and within 2 years, he turns them into title contenders. Conte is one of those guys. When he walks into your club, you must give him free will, free reign, and absolutely trust his vision. And he's not a man who likes to go the cheap route either, let's be honest. But the one thing I will give Conte credit for is he has a knack for getting a lot more and making almost mediocre to average players way better than what they are. Let's remember when he came in at Inter, he brought in guys like Sanchez, Darmian, Ashley Young, Lukaku, who were all unwanted and seen as, leftovers from the Premier League. Lo and behold, he turns out around the next season into... So that shows you his man management and ability to motivate players as well. So it's not just a financial thing. So I feel like coming into Spurs, we have a lot of that. We have a lot of mid to average players who need their level stepping up, who have taken a massive dip over the last 18 months to 2 years. And I think he is the perfect man manager and motivator to get them back up to the levels this season. And those who he doesn't think will make the grade, that's where he's got January and summer to get rid of. I don't think this year is kind of the year where we'll really see this Tottenham team become Conte's team, because this 18-month contract is also him putting the board on trial to see how...
Yeah, I was going to say to you, are you not worried about that? 18 months?
No,
I'm not. A league manager, wouldn't you want... It seems like a very short-term, thinking.
Let's be honest, we're punching above our weight in having Conte here. Conte should not even be looking at managing Tottenham. He should be waiting for Real Madrid, Man United, a much bigger club where he knows everything is going to be set for him. But the fact that we've got him now, he's within his right to put us on an 18-month contract to say, look, you've had Jose Mourinho in here before, you didn't really back him. You had Pochettino who built the foundations, you didn't really back him. You know I need backing to succeed. Now I'm going to see over the next 18 months what you produce to me as a board. Because this board, I've said now that you've made a decision to get rid of Nuno, eyes are back on them to see what they can now deliver for Conte. Once you get a manager like Conte, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Do not mess this golden opportunity up. Because if you've now, as a club, wasted Pochettino, wasted Jose Mourinho, and wasted prime Conte, so at some point you have to start looking in the mirror.
£100 million to spend is what we've been told. Is that enough?
Is it enough? No. Is it enough for what? To get back at us into top 4? I don't think so, no. Is it enough to fill out some more holes of what we need in this team? Most definitely, I feel. And I said previously, I think there's about 5 or 6 pieces that he's already got with Kane, Son, Højbjerg, Ndombele, Reguilon, that he can build moving forward with. He just needs to add the icing on that cake now. And
look who's here. Look who's here. You know what? You know what? The other night, the other day I couldn't find any of you. Right? I remember when we did that West Ham game. Right, when West Ham won 1-0. And I remember I was sitting with you two watching the game, right? And then afterwards, I remember it was at the end of the top. I go, where's Phil Adam? Where'd Toby go?
Listen, I had plans, Robbie. That's why I had to do it. I wasn't ducking the grind, yeah? I don't duck the grind from you and Laurie. I don't duck the grind.
But listen, obviously, Toby, you're very happy. This is massive for Tottenham. Antonio Conte, as I was just saying to Fuad, considered an elite manager, now taking over at Tottenham. I just got Fuad's feelings on it. What's yours?
Yeah, man, it's probably the best thing to happen to the club since. Yeah, the best thing to happen to the club since Pochettino, 100%. And as a signing, in terms of the wow factor, like people are talking about how this is the best signing we've made in terms of a wow factor since Van der Vaart. Because obviously back then we were like a team who had just got into the Champions League for the first time, and Van der Vaart was like, wow, like player from Real Madrid. This is a wow moment for Spurs fans. Like the Jose Mourinho one, people will say no, but you signed a top-class manager in Jose Mourinho. We signed a top-class name in Jose Mourinho, an elite name, yeah? We didn't sign a manager who was pound for pound top 5 at the time. We have now signed a man who is literally comparable to the likes of Klopp, Pep, etc., etc. Like he can go toe-to-toe with these guys, and he's managing Spurs with no Champions League football, with no world-class team, with nowhere near the resources that Man City have, and so on and so forth. So it is a ridiculous get for Spurs. Like that's why I won't have opposition fans raining on our parade today, because you have to understand the magnitude of this appointment.
But listen, obviously everyone knows I'm an Arsenal fan, right? And I will say it right now. I feel that obviously it's a coup to bring in a manager like Conte. At the start of the season, a lot of Arsenal fans were saying we should get Conte. He is an elite manager. All of those things. I'm not gonna literally. If he'd have come to Arsenal, I'd be gassed as well. So I'm not gonna rain on your parade in that way. But the one thing I would say, it does kind of feel a bit like with Tottenham, we've been here before, because when you got Mourinho, it was very similar. You know what I mean? A lot of your fans are very gassed about that. You spoke about him being a serial winner. You spoke about the fact that he will get the best out of his team. But I'm seeing a lot of sort of parallels, a lot of similarities with it. So you could argue Mourinho is a bit more past his sell-by date. Mm-hmm. But some of the similarities, like, for instance, does Antonio Conte's style of football, which is what you guys were moaning about under Nuno Espirito Santo, and I know Nuno's not in his class, but does his style of football suit Tottenham? Because it's all about getting managers that suit your club. Does it suit Tottenham? It suits Chelsea.
The thing is,
we all know Chelsea over the years, that's how they play, but is that going to suit Tottenham?
But I don't think we've been screaming about like wanting to play attacking football non-stop. I think the biggest issue over the last maybe 18 months for Spurs fan is just having an actual identity, something that you feel like there is a focus for this team and an ethos that they're playing with. We haven't had that, whether it be under Jose or whether it be under Nuno. A lot of the times I've said I think it's a lot of the playing squad have not been up to standard. But then at the same time, I think with Conte, you look at his teams, I think too often it's almost lazy analysis to say Conte's a defensive manager because he plays with the 3 at the back. Inter Milan scored 89 goals last year. I think his Juve teams have scored 90 plus goals on how many seasons? Like there have been so many times where you'll see Chelsea teams are winning 3+ goals comfortably in the seasons he was there. So for me, it's like, if you really watch his teams are very solid defensively, but they can get you goals and play attacking football when they need to as well. It's just a matter of the shape looks a bit defensively. But for me, I think what Conte will bring is kind of unrivaled with what we are ever able to get. So regardless of playing style or whatever, I'd be willing to even suffer for a little while if it meant Conte is actually going to produce something. And you can say there's similarities with Jose, but as you said, Jose maybe was past his kind of best period of his career, and kind of Spurs, he was still climbing onto that, trying to hold on to that. With Conte, this is him coming into his prime. He just won the league last year. So it's like, for him to even come to Tottenham is an absurd thinking. And
it's a different type of league, this though, isn't it?
It is.
He's worked in this league before, Robbie.
He's worked in this league.
He's worked in this league before, but I'm just saying it's a different type of league in that in this league now you've got Man City, you've got Liverpool, you've got Man United who spent a load of money. You've got, you just got so much competition in this league. It's a little bit different to Serie A. Now, if he, they're saying he might have 100 million to spend. Is that enough? What's his target for this season, would you say? Because he's only on a short-term deal, isn't he?
Top 6 in Conference League.
Yeah, man. I think his target. No, I think irrational. Of course, there'll be Spurs fans who are saying, "Why can't we get top four?" O'Hara's probably talking about top four, etc., etc. But I think you have to be realistic. Yeah, Antonio Conte is not. He's not Jesus. Do you get what I'm saying? Like he is an elite manager, but in the end of the day, he's not going to make Dele Alli turn into a world beater. He's not. There are some players in our team that are just not good enough, and they're going to be what's going to help. That's what's going to cause us to have stumbling blocks with Conte. I fully expect for Spurs to lose several more games this season with Antonio Conte. It's not all going to be peachy. He's going to come in, he's going to win some matches, but he's going to lose some games because we're not in a period now where we have enough quality to go 6, 7, 8 games unbeaten on a stretch or 8-game winning streak. So I think we just need to exercise patience with him and let him get his ideas across. And like Fuad said, the beauty of having him now is we finally have a manager where we know what his system is about, and we know that his system can get us higher up the table if we give him the chance and the money and the patience to build what he needs to build. So for me personally, top 6 is my aim with Antonio Conte. I don't think we have a squad good enough for top 4.
Do you think?
Yeah, I do think that. I think if he somehow gets top 4, then he's a better manager than I thought.
Wow.
A better manager than I thought.
I mean, listen, you're only 5 points off the top 4. Let's remember that. It's I keep reminding everybody, like all season, people be like, someone at this. We played 10 games. Tottenham have got 15 points. West Ham are on 20. It's you're 5 points off it. That's a couple of wins. So things can change if he comes in and gets onto a winning streak. But are you worried, as I said, that this could be another Mourinho?
No, I'm not worried. I think if this one fails, like we're already looking at the board. But if this one fails, then there's nowhere else for them to go. Like there really isn't. Like because do
you look on it? Do you look on it and say to yourself, should you really maybe have gone for someone, a bit more under the radar?
We did that with Nuno. And the thing is the reason why I'm not worried with Conte flopping either is the difference between him and Jose. He's got Paratici there, a guy who he's worked with and built something with before. And when it comes to signings, I'm sorry, I will trust Paratici if he knows he's going to be working with Conte. Those who have built a relationship already. So in that regard, that further tips me why I don't think this will not work out. Everything is in place for him now to kind of succeed here. It's literally just a matter of if the board are going to front the money and actually back this man to the hilt.
That was what I was going to ask you as well. Like, 2 questions. Does this change Harry Kane's mind on what he's thinking? Because I watched him playing on Saturday, and he looked like a player who did not want to be there. But does his mindset change now, and him saying to himself, you know what, I do want to be there now because I can see we can challenge for the league. And how does his? I mean, this is as an Arsenal fan, right? Again, right?
Are you nervous?
Are you nervous? I'm not. I'm not actually, but I'm very interested in. I'm intrigued, even just as a football fan. I'm intrigued to see what the relationship between him and Daniel Levy is going to be. That's going to be quite exciting. I mean,
yeah,
it doesn't seem a fit for me. I mean, that's where I don't know. Let me ask you guys. It's your club, so you know.
Well, yeah, but I think with this, I think this is, as Spurs fans, we've almost wanted a manager like Conte to come in and actually question Daniel Levy. A lot of people thought that's what Jose was going to do. In the end, it didn't happen. He just towed along the line and just accepted everything that Levy gave him. This isn't going to be the case of Antonio Conte. When Antonio Conte says something, he means it. If you don't back him, he'll walk away. He'll stink out the joint. You saw Chelsea in their second season. He wanted Lukaku, they gave him Morata. He wanted certain players, they gave him Barkley, etc., etc.
That was Chelsea as well.
Yeah. So
and it doesn't worry you. That's what I'm saying. Are you not worried?
It doesn't worry me, because even if it gets to that point and he stinks the joint out, then it sends a message to the clowns that are running our club that the way that you've been running this club for the past couple of years it's not gonna
But you already know that, don't you?
Yeah, we know that, but they
new direction.
We know that, but they don't, because they keep trying to do the same thing. And like we said, the very epitome of madness is to do the same thing over and over again and expect.
But is this not that though? That's what I'm saying.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is, because you're not bringing Antonio Conte if you're gonna penny pinch and script and bargain and shop in the bargain basement. Like, you bring in Antonio Conte if you're giving him money to spend, because Conte's not signing this deal if he's coming in and he's having to spend 2 million on one summer on some.
You got to remember, this is
option.
Yeah, this is the second time we've gone back for him as well. So he knows I'm sure our board are fully aware of what his demands were in the summer and knew when they went back to him this time, they cannot cut corners. They cannot kind of try and blindside him and cheapen it. Nah. They have to go all chips on the table for me. And in regards to Kane, as you were asking, I think it's the perfect situation for Kane. I think under Jose Mourinho, we probably saw the best version of Kane ever, maybe. With the goals, with the assists, with the creativity, with the way he evolved his play. Some would argue it. Of course, some would say 2017 Kane. Some would say that Kane. But we saw a different version. I felt like with the summer move not happening, the heavy Euros over the summer, his head was not in the right space. Then you come back into the new season, you didn't get your move, and all of a sudden Nuno's your manager, who's basically Jose without the charisma and CV. His head is definitely not going to be in the right place. The only way his head gets back in the right place, when an elite manager walks through the door. When a man like Conte, whose vision you can believe in, who you know can make you a better player, who you know you can actually succeed with, why not? I genuinely believe now Conte has the man management and motivation abilities to get Kane firing again. I'm not worried about Kane anymore, or Ndombele. I know he wanted Ndombele last summer at Inter Milan, so I already know those two are going to be a shoe and a success under Conte for sure.
I don't know whether this will change Harry Kane's mind to stay at the club long term. But as far as the season is concerned, I have every bit of trust that Antonio Conte can get a tune out of Harry Kane. I wasn't even expecting Harry Kane. I wasn't expecting this to continue throughout the whole season. Even under Nuno, I was expecting Harry Kane to eventually turn this form around. So the fact that Antonio Conte has come in, it helps with that process. And I think we're going to see Harry Kane getting back to a good level soon enough.
He's going to be in charge. I think the first game they're saying is actually this Thursday in the Conference League.
Vitesse. I've got a ticket. I wasn't planning on going, but now, Jesus,
that's a hot ticket now. That's a hot ticket.
I'm there, boy.
I asked this to Fuad earlier. I ain't asked you this yet, Toby. You're a bit worried about this contract.
No, I'm not.
Normally, you'd be saying to yourself, right, everybody, I think, if he gets top 4 this season, miracle. He would have done wonders, right? So you then look at it and say, all right, top 4, but it's only 18 months. So you're not worried by that. If he comes in and does well, that suggests that either he'll be on his way to somewhere bigger. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. It's not. Wouldn't you have wanted to see him get like a 3-year contract with a plan for the next 3 years? And this is a bit short term.
Yeah, I would have loved a 3-year contract, but I'm not mad at an 18-month contract. Like he has to protect.
What's the plan for 18 months then?
There's an option to
extend. I'm gonna ask both of you, right? If both of you were Daniel Levy today, right? What would your target be for him in 18 months?
Get this team back into the top 4.
Then leave.
Back into the top 4. Yeah. Get this team back into the top 4.
No, because if you get them back into top 4, surely the club is progressing. So surely you would feel the need to sign the extension and see this project through.
But in the meantime, once you got back into the top 4,
Robbie,
you can
is it not the same thing Tuchel had?
Yeah, exactly. When Maurizio Pochettino signed for PSG, 18-month contract, and they renewed it in the summer. When Thomas Tuchel signed for Chelsea, 18-month contract, they renewed it in the summer. An 18-month contract does not scare me because it protects Antonio Conte and it protects the club. It protects Conte's best interests. If he doesn't like what he sees in the project, he can go. If we don't like what we see in the project, then it's not going to cost us as much. But for me personally, I think 18 months is enough of a time frame for him to bed in his ideas, bedding his philosophy into this team. And if we give him the backing,
he'd be gone though. He'd be gone.
I don't think he will be gone, because if he does as well as we expect him to do, then and we're giving him what he wants, why wouldn't he stay on? If he signed on for 18 months,
because then you might have a Real Madrid come along, you might have a Juventus come along. You might have a manager. You know, you might have Newcastle with mega bucks coming and saying,
Robbie, these options were these. So the Real Madrid job before. So who's the manager now again? I can't remember. Ancelotti, yeah. So before Ancelotti got the job, I saw it wasn't in play. Why didn't they go for him then?
Yeah, but that's the same with Spurs. That was in play.
But we did go for him though.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying that was in play as well. So I'm saying, you're not worried about 18 months?
No, I'm not worried, bro. I'm not. I know what you're trying to do, Robbie. I'm not worried. I know what I'm not trying to do. I ain't worried.
I didn't write his contract. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm just saying, are you not worried? To me, if it was Arsenal, I'd be like, wow, we've got Antonio Conte, brilliant. I'd be like you guys, I'd be gassed. But then I think the next day I'd be sitting back and thinking, why only 18 months? I'm a bit worried about that, because it's a very short-term thing. You know what I mean?
No, but contract is standard now, though.
Yeah,
is it not? Only the goats. Only
that guy there, gents. He's saying an 18-month contract shows Spurs don't even trust him, or maybe he don't trust Spurs.
Yes, that's what it is.
Maybe he don't trust Spurs. Maybe he's saying, you know what, Robbie, I'll do 18 months from now. Let me see what's happening.
Robbie, when Pep Guardiola had 6 months left on his deal at Man City, how many years did he sign on for?
Yeah, but he did it. What was his initial contract?
I'm just asking, how many years? How many years did he sign on for? 2 years.
What? Yeah, but I'm saying, what was his initial contract? No, you can't judge it like that. What was his initial contract?
Why can't I judge it like that?
Because I'm just saying, right? We hear a lot about in football. We hear a lot about the project. Right, this season we know that if he, you guys both said it, if he gets top 6, he would have done a great job this season. Yeah. Then what's your plan for the next season after that? Because it's only 18 months. Then the contract will be up at the end of that year.
Robbie, do you know what the mission is? The mission is stabilized at the minute. We've been outside the top 4 now for 2 seasons. We're in the Conference League.
I love that comment.
It's stabilized at the minute, bro.
Robbie, I love that when Joey New says, Robbie, you're shaking in your boots, trying to find any way to spin this negative. I'm gonna be honest, yeah. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest here as an Arsenal fan, yeah. I'm not shaking in my boots. I think if you'd have got Antonio Conte at the start of the season, I'd be shaking in my boots. I think now that you've got him, I just look on it and I'm just like, I don't know. It seems to me more like Tottenham have rushed in there to get him before he goes to Man United. It seems a bit rushed. It doesn't seem, I don't know. I think that there doesn't seem to be the planning in it. But listen, I'm not going to deny. Right, and Eric's there saying Tuchel started with 18 months, salty Robbie, and maybe he comes in and does a Tuchel where he wins a lot of things in the first season.
He was only at Inter for 2 years, by the way.
To me, I'm just looking at it and thinking, 18 months. Why? Why not longer? That's all I'm saying. But I'm not going to deny he's an elite manager. He's an elite manager.
But he doesn't want longer because, as we've said, you've seen what this board has done with Jose. You've seen what this board has done with Poch. You've seen how even Nuno, in the short term, how it was.
Plus, he don't stay places.
He's essentially putting this board on trial in this 18 months.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
If they will fully back his vision, because you can give him the assurances over the contract table, but then it's another thing putting it into place. You've got now what, January window coming up? Summer window coming up, and then another January. So he's got 3 windows basically before his contract runs out. Within those 3 windows, I'm expecting the deadwood to be cleared and whatever he wants to be brought in.
There you go. And Robbie, and
by the end of that, we can get a better game for a top 4 club. What squad is, and if that's in Conte's vision, why would he not stay on?
Another thing as well, you got to take into consideration, Robbie. Yeah. And a lot of Spurs fans won't like me saying this, but we're crap right now. We're actually jazz. We're bad. Like we are in no position to be forcing a 3 or 4 year contract on a manager like Antonio Conte We need Conte more than he needs Spurs. And that's a fact. Spurs need Antonio Conte more than he needs Spurs. So if the 18-month term is what he feels he needs to get himself into the ground, stabilize his team, and propel us on the premise that he's going to get the money that he needs, give him the 18-month contract. And if things are still the same and he still has the same feeling towards Spurs and we're doing everything in the way that he wants, then I see no reason why he wouldn't want to extend.
Okay. Well, I can see why you guys are happy. And I see Ian McKenzie says, Lewis says Spurs fans chatting facts. Ian McKenzie says we're a better proposition now than in the summer. We kept Kane, signed a right wing back, and have a world-class centre half in Romero. So he says green doesn't suit you. He's saying. Yeah, I mean, it's a very good signing for Spurs. Nobody can deny that. I think everybody's shocked that he's taken on the job. So 5 stages of grief, says Jerry 31. Robbie is in the first stage, denial. I like that one. I'm not in denial. It's happened, right? It's Antonio.
Be ready.
As I said, I guess the only thing for me is that I see this already with Mourinho. It reminds me a lot of the Mourinho thing, because Mourinho going to Spurs was a shock. Mourinho came from Chelsea. It was an ex-Chelsea. I don't know. To me, it doesn't.
Nah. Can I shut down this Mourinho thing?
Please, for some reason, I'm being 100. Toby, I'm being 100% honest here. Honest to God, right? For some reason, even though I know he's an elite manager, even though I know he's one of the best managers in world football, somehow I don't feel over worried. I don't know what. Maybe I'm being stupid.
Cool. Okay,
I don't
feel worried. That's your opinion.
I think it's because the Mourinho thing. It just seems like it's like deja vu. I don't know.
Yeah, but the reason why it isn't deja vu is because for the very same reasons I told you when Jose got the job. Jose was a spent force. Done. Finito. He should have never got the job in the first place. I was very vocal of this before. The minute he was linked with the job, I've been vocal on this from day one. My energy has never changed on Jose Mourinho. He was never the right man for the job, and he was very much on a downward trajectory. Conte, at this current point in time, is still an elite manager. He came to England, he succeeded. 2 trophies in 2 years. He went to Italy, got Inter Milan a league title. He is still winning and succeeding and developing players right now. There is no downward slide. So if this does not work out in the way we expect it to work out, you only have to point your finger at one person, or better yet, a group of people, not Antonio Conte, which is why it is different to Jose Mourinho.
All right. Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you both very much for coming on today. Thank you for everyone in the chat. I love the comments. I love the 5 stages of denial. That was brilliant, right? That was brilliant. But listen, it's official. It's official, as you can see by Toby, as you can see by Fuad. Antonio Conte is the new manager of Tottenham Hotspur on an 18-month contract. It's going to be, I'll tell you what, this Premier League is going to be so exciting. There's so many top managers in there, top players. This, my phone's ringing at the moment because I've got to do an interview with a radio station up in Newcastle. They're talking about Unai Emery coming to Newcastle. I'll tell you what, it's going to be full of great managers in this league, right? So we're going to have some fun this season. We're really going to have some fun. Thank you very much to you guys. And thank you. Don't forget to subscribe to the Don Robbie channel. Quickly, before I go, where can they find you both to get more information on what's going on?
At Fuad Cadani on YouTube, and we should be actually doing a THFC show tonight as well on Tobes' channel. So yeah, join in for that as well. And Tobes,
at Tapping Tobes on all socials, Instagram, Twitter, and then YouTube as well. Yeah, just follow us, subscribe to us, man. Join in tonight as well, because we will be talking about this deal as well. And we're not going to be talking we're gassed, but we're not deluded. You get what I'm saying? So we keep some realism. Yeah, cool.
Thank you both. Thank you both.
No,
thank you, everyone.